You ever get that sinking feeling where you're working harder than ever, but somehow you're falling further behind? Let's talk about what's really happening in America right now. Unemployment is creeping back up. Jobs are vanishing quietly overseas. And while companies are making record profits, everyday people can't even breathe between the rent, bills, and groceries. This is not just an economic blip. It's a system failure, one that's built to extract more from you while giving back less. Let's break it down. Sure, the official unemployment rate says something like 3.9%. But ask anyone who's been laid off in the last year, and they'll tell you a different story. People are applying to hundreds of jobs and hearing nothing. Some industries, like tech, have seen wave after wave of layoffs. Others, like retail and logistics, are quietly cutting shifts and hours. And when you do find work, it's part-time, gig-based, or short-term contracts with no benefits. You're employed on paper, but your paycheck doesn't reflect it. This is underemployment, and it's the new normal. Why? Because of one word: outsourcing. We used to think outsourcing just meant call centers in India or factories in China. But now, it's white collar, it's high skill, and it's global. US companies are quietly shifting software development, HR, accounting, marketing, even legal work to countries where labor is cheap and regulations are minimal. They're not just hiring freelancers, they're building entire global capability centers, or GCCs. These GCCs are corporate offices in places like India, Poland, Mexico, and the Philippines that handle entire business functions for a fraction of the cost. And they're growing fast. In 2015, there were 2,500 of them. Today, there are over 6,000. By 2027, they'll employ 4.5 million people. That's work that could have gone to Americans, but it didn't. And what about the jobs that stay in America? Well, many of those go to workers on H-1B and L-1 visas. Now, to be clear, immigrants are not the enemy. They're just people trying to build a better life, just like you and me. But the system is being gamed. Here's how it works. Large outsourcing firms flood the visa system with applications. They bring in workers at a lower cost. And because those workers depend on their employer for legal status, they can't easily negotiate or leave. That means corporations get a cheap, compliant workforce. While American workers get edged out, this isn't about talent, it's about control. Even if you do manage to land a job, the cost of living has exploded. Rents have doubled in some cities. Gas, groceries, insurance, up across the board. Childcare, through the roof. Healthcare, don't even get started. A middle-class income today barely covers the basics. Let me give you some numbers. The average American household spends 33% of income on rent. Grocery costs are up 25% since 2020. Health insurance premiums for families now average over $24,000 per year. And a single ER visit without insurance? That can be $3,000 to $7,000 or more. Even people with decent salaries are just one emergency away from financial collapse. So it's not just about unemployment, it's about affordability. People are working, but they're not living. Let's get human for a second. Jasmine, a UX designer from Florida, got laid off in 2023. She's applied to over 200 jobs, 0 offers. She just moved back in with her parents at 31. Carlos, a truck driver from Texas, says diesel prices and insurance hikes mean he's now making less than he did 3 years ago, even though demand is up. Amira, a single mom in California, works 2 jobs and still can't afford rent without government assistance. She has a college degree. These aren't rare stories. They're normal now, and it's breaking people. It's easy to feel hopeless, but there are things you can do right now to survive, adapt, and push back. Here are 7 survival strategies you can start today. 1. Geo arbitrage. Consider relocating to a city or town with a lower cost of living. Tulsa, Omaha, Rochester, and even international hubs like Portugal or Mexico City offer better cost-quality of life ratios than LA or New York. 2. Remote work hubs. Look for jobs in fields that embrace remote work: tech, marketing, writing, customer support, coding, finance. Sites like We Work Remotely, Remote OK, and Flex Jobs are great starting points. 3. Group housing or co-living. Shared housing isn't just for college students anymore. It's a lifeline for adults managing high rents. Explore co-living spaces in your city or split rent with trustworthy roommates. 4. Upskill strategically. Don't just learn to code. Target fields with high demand that are less likely to be outsourced: cybersecurity, AI prompt engineering, local healthcare roles, construction, solar installation, logistics. 5. Master budgeting. Apps like YNAB, Rocket Money, and even basic spreadsheets can show you where every dollar goes and where to cut. 6. Multiple income streams. Explore side gigs, online work, or passive income ideas. Sell templates, run a newsletter, tutor online, do affiliate marketing, whatever you can manage. 7. Know your rights. If you're being laid off, you may be eligible for severance, unemployment insurance, or retraining grants. Use sites like Career One Stop or your state's workforce office to check. Let's be real. Personal responsibility only goes so far. We need systemic changes too. Reform the visa system so it doesn't undercut local workers. Incentivize U.S. companies to build capability centers in America. Regulate offshore hiring transparency. If a job's being done overseas, that should be public. Offer serious tax breaks for companies hiring locally in distressed areas. Expand access to affordable housing and universal health care. And most importantly, hold corporations accountable, not just for profits, but for people. If you're struggling right now, you're not alone. And it's not because you're lazy or entitled. You're living in an economy that's being hollowed out from the top, where the rules are rigged and the ladder keeps moving further away. But if we understand the system, we can start changing it. We can adapt, survive, and eventually build something better. So hang in there, stay sharp, and don't let them gaslight you into thinking you're the problem. You're not. You're the future. Subscribe to Deepmind Daily, because it's time we started telling the truth about work in America.